Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to the Pipeline podcast. Hope everyone is having an amazing Wednesday morning, a little earlier than usual, but every once in a while, it's nice to do one of these morning streams. We have a very interesting lineup of things to talk about today. Official news on the Aquaman sequel, some news about the future of the Sony Marvel Universe, and we are going to be ranking our most anticipated Marvel properties going forward. I am here today, special guest Chris J. Chris, how are you today? How are you?
I'm good, just enjoying the day, had my coffee. I'm very excited to join you on this very special day to talk about Aquaman because I'm excited about Aquaman and
Mm-hmm.
to rank, you know, my anticipated Marvel projects
Yes.
that are coming up. So, thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely, man. Just right before we get started, saying hi to the chat. Strangers in the house. How are you today, stranger? Hope you're doing well. There's this guy. I don't know who this guy is. Um, but no, man. Like I'm always very excited to reach out to new people, and like every time I'm like, are these people going to be super mean? And no, you're like you seem so nice, so chill. I'm so excited to
Yeah,
chat with you today.
no
Yeah, but
problem.
this is basically one of our first times chatting, and maybe the chat's first time seeing you. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I am 29. I turn 30 next year in March. I'm a super nerd. I have Pokemon. I just downloaded the DLC last night, so I'm playing that. I like all things Marvel and DC. I'm not one of those boys that go like Marvel's better or DC's better. I like everything. As long
Good,
as it's a
good.
good movie or a good show,
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Heck yeah.
I enjoy music. I go to karaoke every once in a while. I moved to Texas last year. I'm, you know, originally from California, but I moved around
Mm.
so much, so I've been wanting to do a podcast, so this will be a very interesting and new experience for me, and I appreciate you allowing me into your safe space, because there's not
Yeah,
many of
man.
those around these days.
Absolutely, man. This is gonna be a real fun time. Robert in the house. How are you doing, Robert? I hope you're both good. Yeah, I think I'm good at least, and I hope that you're doing good as well.
Hope
Um,
you're
I
doing good too.
Good.
Sorry.
I do want to say, kind of just before we get started, this probably will be one of our shorter streams. For one, not a lot has come out in the last week or so. It's been a very like at the beginning of these strikes, there was there's a weirdly a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of things were coming out, announcements were
Yeah.
happening, and I was like, huh, not what I expected. And now we're officially at the point where it's like, oh, okay, there's not a lot to talk about right now.
Yeah, and I think it's for a simple fact, even growing up, I remember when the strikes were going on, and like not many stuff
Mhm,
was coming out. And now, like, because we have DC, we have Marvel, those are like the main tentpole things.
mhm,
And with these like studios not giving actors or directors or like the writers, especially the
mhm.
writers, proper wages, everybody's just like, nope, we're tapped out. We can't.
Yeah,
So it's like now it's kind of like everything's at a standstill, you
yeah,
know. And I because I watch another movie talk show, and they were
mhm,
saying how like now ever since everything's going to standstill, like are we oversaturated with a few things?
yeah,
Like how can we go forward if like studios and whatnot doesn't pay actors or voice actors even
yeah,
what they need to be paid because they work more hours than like us regular people who work
mhm,
hours from like 8 hours, 10 hours a day shifts, and they have to be on set and everything like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, being paid nothing. So I think, and I wanted to be an actor, voice actor at one point. And I'm just looking at this, I'm like, do I still want to do it? Do I want to pursue it?
yeah.
Because like this going on right now, I'm just like, maybe, if things, be better than what they are now.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, I think we're getting to a point where, like, growing up, it was, like, actors like, being a actor is, like, the best job you could be, it's the coolest thing you could be, and now I think we're officially seeing in and being like, their lives aren't as like glamorous as we all kind of thought it was. Like they go through the same stuff that we go through. Like
Yeah.
they have like money oops. They have like problems and like they go through all these things and like they're not always these big superstars that we always thought they were. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be. I'm very curious, kind of what the like life after the strike looks like for like Hollywood and these actors, and what it just looks like. Like, did we win,
Yeah.
and do they have better pay, or is it going to be
Yeah.
even worse now? Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be very curious.
Yeah. So, so I know later we're going to be talking about like our top
Hmm.
Marvel shows that are coming out. But as you know, like Phase 4, I think we're in Phase 5 now.
Yes.
So Phase 4 had some good shows
Hmm.
and some movies, but when Phase 1 through 3 came out, like everything was like boom, 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 like
Yeah.
quality and quantity. But now, as I'm looking back at it, like some shows weren't that great.
Yeah.
You know, like for me, I enjoyed WandaVision. WandaVision was pretty good. I personally enjoyed Moon Knight and what was the other one? Hawkeye
Hmm.
and Captain America. Some people didn't.
Yeah.
Some people didn't like. For instance, like the Flash TV show that just ended. I was kind of disappointed. I was like, "What is this?" And, and Arrow when Arrow was on, it was kind of like a hit and miss with some seasons
Yeah.
too. Because everybody was calling it like Batman ripoff, whatever. But it's just like,
Yeah.
we can't really have Batwoman was I personally enjoyed Batwoman. And everybody
Yeah.
was hating on that show. So it's kind of like I feel like for us fans, like we put too much stake into like
Mm,
the characters. And
sure.
so it's like we don't want to change, especially with sometimes like the old because like I said, I'm 29, you're about my age, so we like the change, we enjoy it, we embrace it, but
Yeah.
it's like as for like the older comic book fans, you're like, no, it's supposed to be like this, and it's kind of like, come
Yeah.
on guys, like we had the new 52 for DC, that
Hmm.
was kind of like a miss, except for the movies, the animated
Yeah.
movies, those were great,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like, where can we go and kind of like just enjoy going to the movies and not be
Yeah.
like so wish-washy with both DC, Marvel, or even not even just those, just like regular movies.
Sure. That's actually I actually think that's a pretty interesting like topic because like I feel like up until this point like we are more like willing to see change, right? Like, like
Yeah,
Spider-Man is now like Tom Holland and that's okay. But now we're getting to a point where like the like DCU is about to get like rebooted again. And now I think we're at a point where now people like our age are like, well no, like Henry Cavill's Superman, like Ben Affleck's Superman. I don't want a new
yeah,
Superman. And like obviously there's a lot of us that are excited or is ready for something new as well, but like there's all like with those like legacy characters it's always so hard to see someone else step into these new like feet and play these characters. Like it happens every
yeah,
time there's a new Superman, a Wonder Woman, a Batman. It's rough. And
yeah,
I'm very curious to see what that like
yeah,
transition period is like.
yeah. Because I mean, like for instance, like have you seen the Flash movie?
I have, yes.
Okay, so for me, like, okay, so first I saw it one time. I was like, okay, am I missing something? Because
Mhm,
the Flash TV show was on at the same time too. And so it's kind of like, okay, so I have to see it a second time. I was like, no, like this movie was not as great as it was hyped up to be.
mhm.
So I was disappointed. And plus, on top of like some of the personal drama that was going on with it, and I was
Yeah,
just like, all right, okay, it's just, yeah, y'all tried. It could have been better.
mhm.
But, y'all already had it down the pipeline, you know. So
Yeah,
going into one of your main topics for Aquaman, right?
yeah,
I seen the teaser trailer. I am not a horror guy, but Aquaman, seeing that teaser trailer, I'm like, okay, now I'm invested because the first one was so good. Let's see if
mhm.
y'all can top that. Make me feel like I'm inside the world and make me feel for, the character to see what he's about to go through.
Yeah,
Because after Aquaman, it's like the DCEU is not going to be anymore. It's just going to be the DC universe.
yeah.
So I'm very interested to see like how it goes.
Yeah, I think DC's in a very interesting spot at the moment, and like obviously we will talk more about like Aquaman and how we're feeling, but I think I think like merging from one thing to another is always very difficult. And I don't think like I know a lot of people blame like James Gunn for what's happening currently. I think he's doing the best he can in a very bad situation, right? Like I don't
Yeah,
think there's anyone in that spot that could have made this like transition period work
yeah,
and not get tons of hate, right? Like Zack Snyder could be doing this as well and he'd get so much hate, right? So
yeah,
I like I don't
and that's
I don't know. And I like Flash, like I enjoyed it for the most part while I was there, and then I went home and I was like, the more I think about this movie, the less I
yeah,
enjoy it, and the more I think about it, the more I dislike it, and how it
yeah,
ended, I was like, that's not what I was expecting.
yeah. Because it's like because also we had the Flash TV show. They
Yes.
announced the movie along with the TV show as it was airing. So it's kind of like so we have Grant Gustin,
Hmm.
who was basically the perfect Flash in my opinion. Even though we had Wesley Snipes, he came on. They introduced the whole multiverse and everything. But it's just like I think we were so used to the Flash TV show. So like when the movie came out, they finally brought it out because we've been waiting for that movie to see what they were going to do about it. It kind of left us like, huh, like
Yep.
what was that? Because I understand they wanted to use older actors, that were in like the live action movies, but you also had an actor and actors plural who were integral part of the TV universe that they could have brought in,
Yeah.
you know. So that was kind of a disappointment. And it's just like, okay, I get it, you guys are trying to like wipe the slate clean, but at the same time, it's just
Hmm.
kind of like, all right, well, you did it. It wasn't as great, but
Yeah.
you did it. And I feel kind of bad for James Gunn because James Gunn is a good director. I've not seen
He's
any
really
of
great.
his, yeah, I haven't seen any of his horror movies, but the things that he's done with Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm interested to see what he does do with the his DC universe because they are such iconic characters,
Yeah.
that have gone through multiple changes throughout the years for it to be like, all right, guys, like, how are we gonna do this? So he's not doing the normal like Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman,
Yeah.
Flash. He's doing characters that I've never even heard of, like,
Yeah.
you know. So I find that interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love that. Like that's why like I'm not as into the comics as I wish I was. Like I read, but
Yeah,
I'm not like deep into them.
same.
And I always love when I can like watch a show and learn about a brand new character that I love. Like
Yeah.
Peacemaker. I love Peacemaker so much. Like who
Yeah.
who asked for a Peacemaker show? No one,
Nobody has
but
to
I
be figured.
love
Yeah.
that show so much. Like Doom
Yeah.
Patrol is another one. I love that show. I'd never heard of those characters outside of that show,
Yeah.
and it's so much
You
fun
know,
getting
and
to yeah.
and and so like have you seen the Titans show?
The live action one, yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah. So
have.
oh no. Oh God. Okay. So are we gonna? I feel like this is gonna be our first disagreement.
Oh,
but
okay,
for
okay.
but for me, I kind of okay. So the first season was good. The second
Mhm.
season was meh. The third
Yeah.
season, I was like, okay. And like the fourth season, I was like, all right, you guys were picked up. But then they got canceled.
Mhm.
So it was like I enjoyed 50% of the show. The other
Yeah.
50%, I feel like they were trying to like make it as good as it should be, but it was more kind of like Dick Grayson. What is Dick Grayson about to do? And
Yeah.
so I kind of wish they had more time to flesh out the characters. I kind of saw Doom Patrol. I may kind of like
Mhm.
catch up on it because I know I heard it was a good show.
Yeah.
Um, the show that I'm really enjoying that's really funny is the animated Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn, yeah.
Yeah, that one's funny. That was great. That's a great show. It cracks me up. The one disappointment that I have when it comes to DC's live action is the fact that Batwoman got so much hate for no reason.
Mhm.
For no reason. That still bothers me to this day. Like it could have
Yeah.
lasted as long as the Flash and Arrow and Supergirl and as well as Legends of Tomorrow and
Yeah.
Black Lightning. But I feel like since it got so much hate for no reason,
Yeah,
it got canceled. When it got good, it was getting good.
it was 100%. I
Yeah,
I really think Batwoman might be the most unlucky show I have ever seen. Like from that
yeah,
first trailer, people had seen it and said, "Oh yeah, this show is terrible." When
yeah,
it wasn't necessarily. Like I think the first season was okay. Like it wasn't amazing or anything, but I definitely didn't think it was bad either. But like you had like people hated it from like the very start. And
yeah,
then they at the end of the first season, COVID started. So like obviously that's a bad point to have to stop filming.
yeah,
Like you couldn't even air your final episode. Your main actress leaves. Then, a year later it comes out all these terrible things that had happened like with her and like all the drama
yeah,
had come out. And this new girl, she's amazing. I love her so much. I think that she really did like transform the show into something special.
yeah,
And like by season 2, it's like it's not even her show yet because they have to like phase out Kate Kane to
yeah,
to do like to actually do Ryan Wilder. And then season 3, it's finally her show, and then it's
yeah,
canceled.
yeah. And
So
it's just like,
darn it.
bro, it's like you just were getting good. Don't do that,
Yeah.
And it's just like, all right, guys. Oh, and I feel like because given the track record with DC,
Mm,
DC gets more hate than Marvel because Marvel just pukes out movies and TV shows for like the past
sure.
couple years. And so everybody's like, oh, well, DC's not as a top tier as it was, which is why I think James Gunn is rebooting it because the characters are so enriched and so
Yeah.
integral too, because they were the first superheroes until Marvel and all the offshoot heroes that came after that. So I can understand like people's frustrations too, but it's
Hmm.
like we still like as a community and as a fandom need to like get both give DC a chance in this
Yeah.
upcoming few years to kind of like get to where it needs to be.
Sure.
Because
Absolutely.
yeah, because like right now, like Marvel, I'm sorry, Marvel has not been putting out good stuff. It's mostly been like quantity instead of quality.
100%. I think Marvel's like formula can hurt it a lot, right? Because like they put out stuff that they think are good, but like obviously the audience is not like connecting with it, but they've already filmed too much like in advance to stop. Like they now have like
Yeah,
12 projects that they already have done, and it's like, well, we can't just can them now. We have to just put them out. And that's why I
yeah,
think like in a few years we are going to get a lot better projects because I think like Marvel does listen. I really do think that. Like I think they
yeah,
listen to their fans. Like when something didn't work in the past, they'd be like, "Okay, how do we fix it? How do we make fans happy?" And I think
yeah,
we will. Like I think like Deadpool, Daredevil, like Thunderbolts. I think these projects are going to be like really solid. Like Captain America 4. I think these are all going to be like quality projects, but we just kind of have to get through that batch of like post Endgame stuff first, I guess.
yeah. And it's like, and I think one of the problems that Marvel has really is like, for instance, the end of um the Eternals, right?
Hmm.
You have the what's that? The giant hand that coming out of the
The
ocean.
headstone, yeah,
Yeah, the headstone. We never talk about that. For instance,
yeah,
after Moon Knight, um, excuse me, you had all the like the gods, Egyptian gods fighting in the middle of the street. We haven't talked about that yet. So I
yeah.
understand Marvel is trying to get its post end game situation going, but at the same time,
Hmm.
excuse me,
You're fine.
but at the same time, it's like what are like it's more quality than it's more quantity than quality. And I think that's what kind of suffered with, like, I know some people didn't like Moon Knight. And okay, so I loved She-Hulk. She-Hulk was funny to me,
Yeah,
okay? That show got so much hate because I guess, for instance, they had Meg the Stallion and her twerking
yeah.
in that one episode. And it was like they had the Hulk, and Hulk really didn't do anything. But it's like, it's her show. Like, they have to still, like, have the other characters that were introduced in Marvel
Yeah,
kind of like fill into these new stories. One of my favorite shows, and I'm kind of glad she's getting more into it, is Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel, yeah.
She that was a good show. It was very heartfelt and everything, and I'm kind of excited that she's going to be in. the Marvels movie that's
Yes,
coming out. So
absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely agree. Like there's very few Marvel projects come out that I don't at least enjoy. Like I can find enjoyment out of a lot of these projects just because who I am. But
yeah,
I would argue like they put out so much stuff. Like like since Endgame they put out 20 projects. That is insane. That's a lot. And I think what it is for a lot of people is that there is no like connecting tissue to any of them, right? They are very much these like one-off projects. And I think
yeah,
that's fine, but like when we tell these stories, there's really no sign of when we'll see them again. Like it's been like 3 years since we've had the first season of Loki, and we're just now getting back to that story. Like Moon
yeah,
Knight's been a while. Like the WandaVision stuff has kind of been coming back, and I think that's actually been one of the stronger things from like WandaVision to like Doctor Strange and now to like the
yeah,
Marvels. I actually think that's a pretty solid like through line of a story. But
yeah,
I think Phase 4 needed a. I'm not saying like an Avengers movie because I get they want to save those for their big events, but I think there needed to be a something that could kind of bring a bunch of these storylines together to feel satisfying. For it's
yeah.
not just like 20 projects in a row without getting a proper like conclusion.
Mm,
Um, I think like Secret Invasion could have been a really cool thing to do that with, like have a bunch of
yeah,
those characters show up there and have that be your big fight. So if it's like Kate Bishop and like Hawkeye and Moon Knight and She Hulk and they all kind of like come
yeah,
together or something, like that could have been really cool.
yeah.
Um,
And you do bring up Secret Invasion. I was thinking about it, and actually, I love Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L.
yeah,
Jackson's great, but I feel like they should have utilized his character more,
yeah.
and all that.
I really like that show, the first four, and those final two just like fell apart for me.
Yeah,
There was like, oh, okay, that's like this is the kind of show it is. It didn't wrap up much. It didn't like conclude a lot. It just like, oh, it's time to end your show now. All right.
and
I don't
I'm
know.
like I've seen online that like maybe because in season one of Loki they were doing like the multiverse situation.
Hmm.
So I was saying I've heard and that there might be trying to do that, like like each movie takes place in a different timeline
I've
multiversal
seen that
situation,
theory going around. Yeah,
and it's kind
I
of like
I don't know how I feel about that. I,
sure
I
it's
don't know. Like like Hawkeye taking place on one Earth and then Loki taking place on another, and then like Doctor Strange taking out. Like I don't know. I feel like that. I mean, it could be really cool. It could be a really cool way to like this. Like it would be this massive twist. I think,
yeah.
and it could work very well. But I'm just not sold on it yet. I guess.
I'm not really sold on it either. It's just because it wouldn't make sense, but it would make sense because as you know, Doctor
Mhm.
Strange. They no, not Doctor Strange. It was one of the movies or shows where they mentioned. Oh no, it was the new Spider-Man, the animated Spider-Man movie that came out, where
Mhm.
they mentioned how Peter Parker messed with the timeline and everything. What was it, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or
Across. Yeah.
yeah, Across the Spider-Verse, yeah, where they mentioned that. I'm like, okay, cool. So they mentioned it, and that was kind of it.
Yeah.
Um, so it's kind of like, alrighty, well, it's just I just want every studio that deals with superheroes to kind of get its act together and
Mhm.
kind of like have us as fans and even casual fans to kind of be like, all right, cool. So give us good stories. Like for
Yeah.
instance, I know DC is going to have the Amazon show without Wonder Woman.
Mhm. Yeah.
I would like that to be kind of like almost Game of Thrones like, oh well,
Yeah.
what
That's what
was
I'd
the
say.
Amazons like before Wonder Woman came along? You know, are they gonna
Mhm.
go the route where Diana Prince was made from clay, or are they gonna go the route where Diana Prince and Zeus, Diana Prince's mom and Zeus kind of
Yeah.
did the deed, and that's how she was born. She's a demigod. That. So I'm interested in seeing how that. How is Hades going to play into it? Because
Sure.
the whole thing.
Yeah. I'm very curious. Like how far into the past that show takes place because
Yeah.
I assume that it will breed the way into like Wonder Woman at some point, like getting into that universe. is it like is it like 1,000 years in the past, or is it like Diana's a baby or something? Like when does it take
Yeah.
place? I'd be very curious.
Yeah. The
Alrighty. With that being said, let's kind of dive into our first topic, away from superheroes just a little bit, although we would
Gotcha.
definitely get back into superheroes. So Charles Martinet, I'm pronouncing that name right, will no longer be voicing Mario. So this was a massive news story a couple of weeks ago. Everyone kind of freaking out. Are you a big like Mario fan at all? Are you a fan of like those games?
So I have played some Mario. The last Mario game I played was actually Super Smash Brothers, where it had Mario and all
Ooh.
that. When I heard about this, I was like, oh, I didn't know who the actor was that did it, but I'm like, that's interesting. Like I didn't know who it was, so I'm kind of curious who would now be the new voice of Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did have the Mario movie, and Chris Pratt was kind of like,
Yeah.
look at me, Mario, but it's kind of like,
Yeah.
all right, so because I know like Mario is like an integral part of Nintendo, you
Yeah.
know, so it's kind of like I don't know how I really because I did grow up with Mario, so it's
Yeah.
kind of sad, but I mean I'm pretty sure like he's been Mario for like years, so he probably needed a break, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's retiring and kind of like chilling out a little bit. I mean, he's not like a spring chicken, so I absolutely get
Yeah.
wanting to just settle down and just kind of like chill with the fans now that he's
Right.
retired. Um, wh- I think the part of the story that I find so funny is that they put out the trailer for Super Mario Wonder. I think it was like 2 or 3 months ago, like even before this was announced. And apparently, it's not him in that trailer. It
Oh,
is the like new actor, and no one noticed. Like no one noticed it
oh
was like
really?
someone new. So I think that's a really fun way of like doing this, where it's like, yeah, we kind of already like have someone new and you didn't even notice. Like he's that good. Whoever they got
I
is
don't even
that good.
I don't even think I've seen the trailer. I've been so
Yeah.
hooked on Pokemon and this whole Pokemon mess. I totally forgot. Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I think that's incredibly funny. And I hope he's happy, and I hope he's living
Yeah,
his best retirement.
right? He can kick back on all the money he's made and just like
Yeah.
go
That's
on
a goal.
vacation.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, next up here, we had talked about it a little bit, but the first official teaser for Aquaman and the Last Kingdom has officially been released, with the official first trailer releasing tomorrow as this is going out. Um,
Ooh,
how are you kind of feeling about this movie? I know we always talk about it a little bit, but
yeah.
like what's been your kind of feelings about this movie up until this point?
So I love the first Aquaman movie. Like I previously mentioned, I kind of I kind of want this movie because I don't think they're going to continue with Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I kind of want this movie to be like, hey, he is Aquaman. He's fighting for his right to be kingdom. Because I haven't really read any of the Aquaman comic books growing up, but I've seen
Hmm.
like Justice League Unlimited, and even like new iterations of like the animated DC universe or however you want to say it, animated universe. And it's just
Yeah,
like I kind of want this movie to like hook me. And like I know James Wan said it's going to be leaning a little bit more into the horror aspect
yeah,
of Aquaman. So as like I mentioned, I'm not really a horror fan, but I have enjoyed this iteration of Aquaman. So I want it to really grab me and me be like, oh, like I can kind of sort of get into horror now because he made this movie kind of like give me the chills that like I feel like most horror movies give general horror movie audiences. What about you?
I mean, I think at one point I was definitely very excited. I love that first movie a lot. That was I mean, yeah, obviously I knew of like the Aquaman character. I'd seen like the animated stuff a little bit, but like really I wasn't that much into the character. I love that first movie. That's actually probably my
Yeah.
first DC movie I've seen on like a big screen, because I didn't used
Yeah.
to like go to move like like, you know, a lot of these big movies. So that's the first thing I saw in a theater, and my goodness, I don't know why that keeps happening. Like that experience was so much fun to me. I think this is a gorgeous movie. Like it is very like
Yeah,
CGI heavy, but I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I think it's so much fun. I think it's just like the pure definition of a fun superhero movie, and I think this will be
yeah,
the same. Now, I know there's been a lot of weird stuff around this movie. Obviously, like those like test screenings came back and they weren't very positive, and that's been people very worried. Just the like transition into these movies have been very awkward. Like after
yeah,
the Flash movie, I have like that was my time where I was like, yeah, I'm done with that universe, and now I'm ready to move on to the next. And like Blue Beetle was fine to me because I was always kind of like under the impression that that was going to be moving over, and I'd be like, all right, that's
yeah,
like a soft start. And now Aquaman is like, where are you? Are you in the DCEU? Are
yeah,
you in the
yeah,
post Flash timeline, which what it seems like it may be
yeah,
because of how the Flash ended with this post credit scene. Are you
yeah,
part of like the DCU? Like there's been rumors that he still are like Aquaman, and I'm not a huge fan of that idea just due to like confusion with
yeah,
fans.
yeah.
So
Ooh, excuse me. Oh God, I don't know where that came from. No, I agree with you. I agree with you because I don't know if you sat. Did you sit through like the end credits to Blue Beetle?
yes, yes.
Okay, so it's that end credit. It's kind of like okay, so you sang this Ted Cord, I believe. Ted Cord's still alive. All right, and then they said that Blue Beetle kind of sort of is like in the new DCU, but not
Hmm.
really. Just a character, maybe the
Yeah.
actor. Aquaman fits in there somewhere. And then there's been rumors that oh well, they're keeping some actors and not some actors.
Hmm.
I kind of want to see like where it goes. Like I know they already have their Superman and their Lois Lane,
Hmm.
you know. So it's kind of like all right, so we have that. Now where are we gonna go from here? And we can't
Yeah.
really get any information because of like the strikes and everything that's going on. So
Hmm.
it's I want to know how they will if they'll be able to promote the movie that how it needs to be promoted. Because
Yeah.
Blue Beetle, yeah, because Blue Beetle, I mean, it got some promotion,
Yeah.
but not really. And I feel like everybody's like anticipating for Aquaman because it's Jason Momoa. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, and but I think some people will hate it, will not really like it because of also the actress that's in it.
Amber Heard. Yeah. That's
Yeah, so it's like it's kind of like it's on a double-edged sword just a little bit
yeah.
because it's like DC kind of the drama with Amber Heard, and then it's like, is it in the new universe? Is it not in the new universe?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's
very
tough. Like, I mean, like that just makes me think back to how long this movie's been a thing. Like back when like the Amber Heard stuff was massive. Like that's been years by this point. Like the
yeah,
like last movie came out 2018. That was 5 years ago. It does not feel like it's been that long. But you know, like this has been one of those very unlucky movies where it's like if we're pushing it back a year and then like another year, and there's been like they're on their third set of like reshoots, and I think it's like with reshoots, I think they're up to like a $300 million budget, which
oh
is a
God,
lot. Like that's
I
a
wish
lot
that
of money.
yeah.
And I'm very
What is
I'm
that?
very curious to see how this movie does because with
Yeah,
the state of DC, I want to say it wouldn't do so well, but with this being Aquaman, a movie that previously made $1 billion, and this is also a Christmas movie. Like Christmas movies do very well in
sorry, my
theaters.
bad. I'm trying to get my phone charged. My bad.
That's all right, man.
Phone's dying. Um, yeah,
No,
no, I am I am curious to see how it's gonna play out.
absolutely. I
Sorry,
hope
I had
that
an awkward moment there for a second.
that's all right, man. You're all good. Yeah. I mean, do you have any kind of like expectations kind of going into this movie? I know we saw the trailer, and I was actually, you know, like I've been kind of on the movie these last couple months, especially since Flash. But that
Yeah.
teaser kind of put me back in. Like there's so many shots in the trailer where I was like, okay, I'm hyped again.
Right, right. It's like, all right, you got my attention. Like, all right. are you gonna be as good as the first one? Like, am
Mm,
I gonna need to get me an action figure of Aquaman? No, I'm just kidding.
yeah,
But it's kind of like it's. I feel like it's kind of one of those things where like we'll have to wait and see what the trailer gives us, you know.
yeah,
Because it's kind of like we as like I said, like I previously mentioned, we as fans have these movies since we've been getting them in bulk, back to back,
yeah.
high expectations now. So it's kind of like, all right, guys, this is the last movie of technically. I don't call it this. I just call it the DCU use, but everybody calls it the Zack Snyder universe.
The
So it's kind of
DCU.
like, yeah. So it's kind of like, all right, guys, what are you going to give me? What is going to be the last hurrah of this character so we can
Mhm.
move forward with this next
Yeah,
iteration of these brand new characters or characters that we're getting? And I hope that we as fans and the general audience will appreciate this movie for what it is and can move forward
yes.
to this new era of DC that's gonna come about.
Yeah, I'm just so excited for just like a new start with DC. Like that's something I've been asking for a while now. Like I've said that DC's needed a bit of a reboot for a while. It's been
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot think of a more like difficult like franchise ever. Like it's like the like Ezra Miller stuff, the Amber Heard stuff, the Josh Whedon, the Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Like it's been thing after thing after thing.
And it's
I
like they just
it's
need a break.
Oh yeah, no, and I think 2024, like like there were rumors that this would be pushed back to next year. I was like, no, put it out this year. Have a whole year of I mean, there are the like creature commandos, but like have a year of no DC movies, right?
Yeah.
Nothing in that universe away from it. I know we have Joker as well, but that's separate, right? Have a
Yeah.
year fresh of it, and then next year in 2025 we can start fresh with
Yeah.
yeah, Superman Legacy, and I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited to start fresh.
Yeah. See, and like I feel like, and then James Gunn did. I know we're kind of going off Aquaman, but like for DC, the animated Superman, My Adventures with Superman.
Yeah, that's so
James
good.
Gunn, like I enjoyed that show. James Gunn said that Superman is now going like that. His live action version of Superman will be kind of like the Superman that we see going forward from the kind of the animatedness of the animated show. So I'm interested in that. But as for
Hmm.
Aquaman, though, I hope this movie does really well. So my anticipation for it, I would say it's about like a five, a six, maybe, give or take. You know, I'm trying to be optimistic but pessimistic about it
Yeah,
because it's just how things are at the moment. You know.
100%. Alrighty, moving into kind of our last main topic this week. Again, there was not much here to talk about. Marvel's El Murato, and again, I hope I pronounced that right, no longer involves Bad Bunny. This has been, man, this project has been the funniest road. Now obviously we have slightly talked about this news before, but this is like official. Like he is out of the project.
So I have
Um
no idea who this character is, to be honest.
I just
To
want
be
to ask,
honest,
are you a fan of? Yeah, okay. So I don't feel like many people do. I think we looked it up at one point, and he's only had like one or two issues in Spider-Man comics. He's a villain that like takes on the spirit of like this classic like wrestler or something, and fights
okay.
Spider-Man. I guess in comics. I've never read a comic with him. I feel like most people haven't read a comic with him. Um, Listen, like Sony Spider-Man universe, it's been a really weird ride.
It's a hot
Are you
mess.
a fan of any of those movies in that like shared universe?
Okay, okay. So they're look ever since before Disney kind of sort of had an agreement with Sony, I considered Spider-Man 2 to be the best Spider-Man movie. Okay,
Hmm.
I
With Toby?
personally, yeah, with Tobey
Okay, just
Maguire.
making sure.
Yeah, I personally enjoyed Andrew Garfield's version of The Amazing Spider-Man.
Same.
Tom Holland has been doing a pretty good job with Spider-Man.
Mhm.
I'm not even like no lie. Now, as we switch to where we don't know what they're doing, The Marvel movie, I mean, the Venom movies were pretty good.
Mm.
One was better than two, in my opinion. Um, the animated Spider-Man movies that they've been doing, two is better than one. Now that I think about it, two is better than one. But now, like, since they're doing these offshoot characters, like, I don't know if you've heard about it. They've been doing like Madam Web,
Hmm.
and then now they're doing Craven the Hunter, and then
Yes.
apparently this character Elm. I don't want to mess it up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
um, El Murto. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say. I'm sorry if I missed. If I missed. I don't know what's going on in their minds. Like, are they
Yeah.
trying to do kind of like a Marvel thing where everything's all interconnected?
Yeah.
Which I'm like, that doesn't make any sense because you guys they don't really own Spider-Man. I don't think still. I mean, they have Tom Holland Spider-Man, but it's like, okay, so which Spider-Man are they gonna use? Are they gonna get a new one? Are they gonna use like another offshoot Spider-Man character that nobody really knows, and they know they're
Yeah.
going to get a lot of hate for it. Because Morbius, I'm sorry, Morbius was trash. Morbius was garbage. I was like, I
Yeah.
saw it. I didn't even see it in theaters. I just got it on DVD and put it in. I'm just like, this is garbage. I'm like, why? Like, what is going on? And I know some people don't like Leto for
Yeah.
his Joker. I enjoyed his Joker. His Joker was great. But I'm like, with the script he was given, I don't know if it was the script, I don't know if it was the direction of Morbius, but that movie was horrendous. I only watched it once and it was like, I'm done. I
Yeah.
can't do it. But with this character, I'm kind of like, I don't even know. Like, okay, so he gets his powers from a sumo wrestler, from what you were telling me.
Yeah. I think so.
Uh, I mean, he has his music, he makes his money. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody will be interested in this. Sumo wrestling. I'm not sumo wrestling. I'm sorry. Wrestling's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
don't watch wrestling much anymore, but I mean, I mean, it's sad. I mean, I know people were interested in what he's gonna bring to the character, but I mean, I don't know if anybody's really gonna be interested, to be
I
honest.
I have been seeing most people happy that he's not involved anymore. I never like saying that a movie should get canceled. Like that's not like a show, a movie. I always say if you're not interested, don't watch it. Right? That's what I've always said. I
Yeah,
don't like people getting out of jobs. But I do wonder if this is one that might just like not make it, like they just might be like, you know what, let's just cut our losses, do something else. Especially in a world where like I think a lot of these were announced in a world where superhero movies were on top and they were making all this money. Now
yeah,
people are a lot less picky. Like we're now in a world where a Flash movie lost a lot of money. So if a
yeah,
Flash
and
movie loses money, what about a movie like this? What about a movie
yeah,
like Craven the Hunter? You know what I mean? So,
yeah, and like Blue Beetle lost them some money, and it's kind of like
mhm.
I enjoyed Blue Beetle. I really did. It was a
I
good
love
movie.
Blue
It was
Beetle.
cute.
Yeah,
I think I mentioned it to you on your Twitter page. I said, "But I enjoyed Blue Beetle. It was really good." You
yeah,
know, like I've been starting doing reviews for movies, and I'm just like, okay, guys, so what are we doing? You know,
yeah,
but it's like I understand they want to do like all these comic book movie studio companies. They want to do these off-brand shoot characters.
yeah,
Excuse me. I understand that, but I feel like DC got it right with the Joker. I don't know why they're
yeah.
making a second one with Lady Gaga, which I'm really excited for because it's going to be a musical.
I'm really excited too.
That's
Yeah.
going to be really good. But it's kind of like I feel like they need to do characters that we know, like for
Mhm.
instance, the Joker, um, or like I don't know, what's a really okay. So I'm gonna give you a question. If
Okay.
you wanted Marvel to do an offshoot villain character, I don't know why this villain became a
Ooh.
villain. Who would you want it to be?
Ooh.
Because
Either
they've done Venom, but that's
yeah.
Sony. I'm saying like Marvel specifically.
Mm. I would say, I mean, Magneto would be amazing. I think he could hold his
Okay,
own
yeah,
movie. And also I think like this isn't even a one. I think this is a need. I think Doctor Doom needs his own project. Like I think like a Doctor
okay,
Doom series would go very hard.
yeah. I can see it. Magneto, and specifically Magneto because it's kind of like
Mhm.
he, I mean, I know him and Charles Xavier. They basically want the same thing, but Magneto is the
Yeah,
extremist. And it'd be very interesting to kind of like delve into that specific character to be like he grew like we see like from all like from the X-Men movies, and we talk about the prequels? Do we talk about the prequels or do we not talk about the prequels?
yeah,
Um, because I know some people didn't like Dark Phoenix, so I was like, do we talk about that? Um, and it's like the two actors who played Magneto, they played that character with so much like you felt
yeah.
for it. You knew he was the antagonist. You knew he was the bad guy, but you just like you understood where he was coming from because the pain of his like from him growing up to now like mutants being like kind of the outcasts in society, just like how he's trying to build his people up, and his best friend, who he considered his best friend, is now kind of against him. So it's like, how would like for me, I know that would make me very like, bro, we were on good terms. I know we have two, like, but can you see where I'm coming from, And it's kind of, it would be a very interesting character study of that character,
100%. Yeah. And I
So
mean,
I
just
like,
like the mutants in general, like there's so many of those characters, those the X-Men type characters that I think could have such a like dynamic solo story. And
yeah,
I don't know how the X-Men are doing it. I don't know if they're doing like I don't know if they're just like here's your movie and where you get introduced to all these characters, or if we're doing it like Avengers style, where we're like, okay, here's a
yeah.
Beast movie and here's a Cyclops and here's a Storm.
Yeah, because it's kind of
So
also like because people have also complained like, okay, so if the X-Men were here, why
mhm,
weren't they in Endgame?
yeah,
Like, where were they at? So it's kind of that's a I don't know how they're gonna do it, but that's a touchy subject. It's like with Miss Marvel, they kind of
yeah,
did like the X-Men animated theme song in one of
hmm,
the episodes. Everybody's like, oh yeah, she claims she's a mutant, whoop whoop. But it's like,
yeah,
okay, um, is she a mutant? Is she not a mutant? Like, what's going
yeah.
on? But back to this topic. Like I said, I just um, I really have. I mean, I feel. I mean, he makes his money regardless. He's a musician.
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to see. Where they go if they want to do this project or not. Because I don't. Like I said, I haven't really seen people excited about
Yeah.
El Maturo. You know, so.
Yeah. Absolutely.
uh,
Alrighty. With that being said, let's move into kind of our final thing today. So I thought it'd be fun being a very kind of drier period um in just the world when it comes to like entertainment and what's going on. I have a list
okay.
here, and let me know if you can see my shared screen because I can't see the chat or anything like that over there now.
Yeah.
But I have a list here of I think the majority of announced Marvel movies from both the MCU and also the Sony universe. A lot we've talked about today already, so could be kind of interesting, kind of diving in here. So we have, and like there's a couple that have kind of been announced or said that are coming out that I haven't included on here. Like I didn't put like Shang-Chi 2 because I'm not sure what's happening with
Yeah.
that movie. There's like that like Nova movie that was kind of announced, but like we've literally heard nothing about it for years now. So I was like, all right, I'll leave
Yeah.
that for now. I have about 16 here. So we have a tier list. We have I Need It, which is just like really really excited for the movie. We have super excited, or I'm sorry, pretty excited. We have something, or I'm sorry, somewhat looking forward to it. Then we have I'm not sure, I don't know, and then bottom we have I don't care. So how we normally do these tier lists is like you'll give yours and kind of where you would put it, I'll put where I would put it, and then we somewhere kind of meet in the middle unless we agree, and then we'll just put it there.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good. I will try to zoom in onto my phone to figure out what is what.
Mm.
But you
Let me
know,
actually let me see if I can zoom in for myself.
okay,
Hopefully that helps a little bit.
that helps. That helps a little bit. Yeah,
Okay, cool. Yeah, that works.
yeah. All right. I was
Alrighty,
like, I
up.
can't see. I'm blind. All right.
Yeah, that works. All right, first up here we have The Marvels, which comes out in about 2 months by this point. The upcoming, the newest Marvel movie. Now I feel like this one might have a slight advantage over others because we've actually seen several trailers, we've seen photos,
Yep.
we know relatively what the movie's about, which we can't say for some of these other ones. We did talk about it a little bit ago, as well as we were kind of talking about just like the topic in general. How are you feeling about this movie? Are you excited?
I am pretty excited for this movie. I loved Captain Marvel. I haven't
Mhm.
read the comics, but the first movie was really good. I liked I forgot her name, the actress that plays Captain Marvel. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
Brie
I like
Larson.
the way.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you, Brie Larson. I enjoyed her iteration of her, so I'm actually
yeah,
pretty excited for it. And plus, you have Kamala Khan. She's
yes.
and like the other character who was in WandaVision. So I'm excited to see another female-driven superhero movie. Because now that we don't get Wonder Woman, I'm like, okay, so I've been really looking forward to this. So I'm really pretty excited for it.
Same. Where on this tier list? Where would you put it? Do you think?
Uh, Pretty excited.
Pretty
It'd
excited.
be
I think I'm fine with that too.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty excited. Next up here we have Deadpool 3, which man, I'll
Look,
be honest, I need this movie. I am so
I,
excited for Deadpool 3.
same. I need it. I need it. I need the violence. I need the sarcasm. It's just
Yes.
Ryan Reynolds does such a good job playing this character. Like he's just I don't know if I'll ever not want him to continue being this character.
He's so
And
good.
with
Yeah.
and with everything that's been coming out about it, with having Wolverine come back, which is pretty exciting.
Mhm.
Um, it's just I feel like this movie's going to be on par with his other two, to be honest.
Yeah. Man, like I just can't believe this movie's real. Like it's a real movie.
Yeah,
Um because like it was announced for so many years. Like once they kind of bought Fox, like this was a thing for a while that this was happening. And I feel like part of me didn't quite believe it. And it got
yeah,
closer and closer, and they said they're going to start filming. And like that announcement that they made with like Hugh Jackman and like Ryan Reynolds, and that was like insane, and it blew up the internet. It was so good, such a great way to like announce something like that, and they're so good. But even then, like I don't know if I fully believed it. Like in my mind, it's like
yeah.
Wolverine in
And
a like Deadpool movie. Like I didn't quite believe it. And then a couple of months ago, when we got those photos with him in the yellow suit,
yeah,
man, I
that
it
was
was
great.
such a happy moment. Like I like those X-Men movies, but my biggest thing against them is that they're so afraid to be comic booky. Right? They're too afraid to really
I mean,
embrace. Good.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt
Good.
you.
Go ahead. No, it's fine.
So, I'm enjoying our conversation so much. I'm just like, wait a minute. I have a rebuttal. I feel like I feel like the reason comic book movies are afraid to go comic book movie as it is now
Yeah.
is for the simple fact of the 90s.
Yeah.
If you remember the 90s, it was super comic booky. Remember
Hmm.
Batman nipples, um, you had
That's
the
fair. That's fair.
X-Men. Yeah, you had like the X-Men kind of like a hit and miss.
Hmm.
I hate to say it, you had the trash movie of Spider-Man 3 and the second Fantastic Four
Yeah.
movie. So I feel like studios are now afraid, but now that since comic movies are now popular again
Yeah.
with the resurgence of it all, Deadpool 3, I feel like, and the other thing too was I don't know if you heard this, but people were concerned that Disney was going to either have keep it rated R or have it go dumbed down to PG-13. Did
Yeah.
you hear about that?
I did. Yeah, and I'm very excited that it is rated R. And
Yeah,
yeah, no, I've said this over the course of several like streams now, but I think Deadpool 3 is really their testing grounds for like if Marvel can do more rated R, like will people go watch this still, and will parents like outrage that
yeah.
there's a new like MCU movie that's like rated R. So I'm very
Look,
curious about that. And just there's so much like I'm a like with recent films, I am a little bit over the whole like multiverse thing, but I think
yeah,
Deadpool's going to do something really fun with it.
yeah.
And I think
And my thing.
good.
Sorry, go ahead, finish.
Go ahead. No, no, I was done. Good.
See, and my thing is, okay, what bothers me. So you mentioned the whole parents being pissed off with the
Hmm.
whole, My thing is, people should know what Deadpool is. Deadpool has
Yeah.
been rated R for 2 movies now. Okay, just because Disney took it under, and now it's owned by Fox. Don't be
Yeah.
surprised or shocked that well, this movie's gonna be rated R. Like that's what bothers me. Like people are so upset now with things changing in movies. Like everyone's like, oh, that's woke. That's woke. It's like it's not woke. It's things are. Excuse me. I'm trying to sneeze, but I'm not trying to sneeze at the same time. Um, it's like people want to say everything's woke now. It's just not woke. It's times are changing. Get with it or get
Yeah.
left behind.
100%.
So, like, if Ryan Reynolds decides to, because I know Deadpool is bisexual in the
Yes.
comics, so if Ryan Reynolds decides to kiss a dude in the movie,
I hope
people
so.
are gonna people are gonna be outraged regardless. But me, I'm gonna be like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Bi power right there. But
100%. Man,
it's like just
it's so funny the people that were just like publicly like homophobic on Twitter and stuff, but they just have like a Deadpool like profile picture, and it's like, do you know who Deadpool is? Like,
yeah.
you know
Like
his
for
name?
instance, and it's like for instance that, and like I know we're on Marvel right now, but that goes back to the Batman woman movie. I mean
Yeah.
TV show. Like she's lesbian in the comics and in the show. Calm down.
100%.
It's just like chill out. I'm not even gonna go into the other thing why people were pissed off, but it's just everybody just needs to get over themselves. Enjoy a good time with the movies. Enjoy the fact that Deadpool that people have been wanting
Yes.
is really good. It doesn't have to matter about everything else. I mean, shoot, the world it is
100%.
what it is.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Alrighty, next up here, I guess we're heading over to Sony, and here is Madam Web. Now, this one, like, this is like one of those, it's kind of hard to tell because I don't know much about like the Madam Web character. I'm not very much informed. But from what we've heard and the cast that we've seen, I think the cast looks amazing. We've heard it like talked about as if it's like a Spider-Man time travel heist movie, and that gets me very excited. I don't know what all it's going to entail, but I would say
Eh.
personally, I'm somewhat looking forward to it.
Eh.
You're an eh?
Eh. Yeah. It's just
I can settle
only
for eh for sure.
because it's just like I don't know much about the Madam Web character.
Yeah.
Sony is doing so much with like because they still own most of the Spider people,
Hmm.
and it's just like, what are you guys doing? You know,
Yeah.
like I'm just like, what are y'all doing? I'm like, okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
I hope it's good. I think this is going to be a turning point for their like Sonyverse, right? Like
Yeah.
I think if we're getting Spider-Man in one of these movies, it's this movie because like Peter Parker's in this movie. I think like it's about Peter Parker when he's like a baby.
Oh, it's when
So
he was a baby. Oh, I didn't
yeah,
know
like it's
that. But
them. Like I think like the movie's about like them like someone going back in time and trying to kill like Spider-Man when he's a kid or something.
okay,
Um and I don't know, like that like that's I think a pretty fun concept. And I think if they market it right, it could actually do well as well. So we'll see.
yeah, okay,
Um all right, now up next here we have Fantastic Four. I'm just now realizing I have it down here twice, so we can just ignore
yeah,
that second one. But
okay.
Fantastic Four, man, uh, are you excited for this at all? Because I feel like I got like a hot take when it comes to this.
Okay. So I would like to be okay. There's two ways I can go about this. For the simple fact is, the first movie was good. The second movie was trash, and when they tried to do the reboot,
Fantastic. Oh, I was so bad.
I was like, eh.
It was so
So
bad.
yeah, I don't really care to be
Mhm.
honest because I actually like the fact that comic book movies and the genres and different genres are trying to be more diverse.
Mhm.
But it's like I don't know how you guys how they would. try to bring in the Fantastic Four into now their whole universe.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't know if you've seen this online or everything, but people were talking about, oh well, maybe they were in the quantum realm and
Yeah.
they're going to be, but that didn't happen. So it's kind of like, where is it going to fit into the timeline?
Hmm.
So it's just like I don't really care. I wish I did, but I'm just like, I don't care.
I I was pretty excited when it was first announced because we had been waiting so long for the Fantastic Four in this world. It's been so long. I personally enjoy those 2000s films. Like I think they're a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Um I'm not an expert on the Fantastic Four's characters. Like I've never been
yeah.
like an expert. But
No, me neither.
it's been like 4 years, like 3 years since they announced it. Like it's been so
Yeah,
long. And each week we have a new fan casting on who it is. Maybe once
yeah,
we actually get some real like a real casting, some real news about the movie, then I'd be like, okay, I'm kind of excited. Um
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
but I think I'd be like, I don't know for now. Are you okay
Can we
with
do it
that?
like? Yes, okay. I was gonna say we could do it like in between, and I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
If we can, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
now, yeah, we can put it there. Yeah.
Alrighty, we have up next Armored Wars. Now this is kind of an interesting one because it was originally a TV show, and then it was transferred to be a movie more within the last year
Oh,
or so.
excuse me.
And obviously this is kind of a spin-off of Secret Invasion and where we last left Rhodey. And we've heard it's a lot about Rhodey trying to take control of Tony's suits since the government has now taken a hold of them and using them
Oh,
in unwilling ways that ways that he wouldn't have wanted them to be used. And I've been really excited for the show since it was announced, man. Or I guess movie now because it was show now movie. I was really excited. I love Rhodey. I think he's a
yeah.
fantastic character. I love that he's
And I
getting his
think
own feature film. Are we excited for this?
I'm looking forward to it because I think also the girl that was in Black Panther 2 is going to be in it as well. So
Oh
I'm
really?
looking
Oh yeah,
forward to it. Yeah.
yeah,
So I'm looking forward to it. I'm wanting to see where they go. You know, how they're going to incorporate her into this. Because I feel like also because like I said, I don't know much about. I meant to mention to you earlier before we got off the topic. I don't know much about the Fantastic Four characters,
yeah. Hmm.
but I said from the movies that I've seen. Excuse me. Oh my God, I got the burps today. Um, um, from the movies that I've seen, like I did enjoy the first one. The second one, not so much. The third one, I'm just like, why? So like, but for the topic we're on now, see Armor Wars, I'm looking forward to it because it gives more of a new character to kind of like be brought in, and
Yeah,
not like how they did for like Iron Man 3, where they had that little kid and he shows up in like the end of Endgame, just there in the corner,
sure.
you know. And so I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be interesting. I think it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'd say it's either pretty excited or somewhat looking forward to me.
Yeah, I would
Um,
say someone looking forward.
okay, that's fair. I would feel like like at least until we get some more information about it, or
Hmm.
when we don't even know when it's coming out. We don't know much about it at all. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. All right, next up we have Craven the Hunter. Uh, so we do have a trailer for this. It had come out, and then more recently it was delayed until like next spring. So it's even pushed back even further. Um, you know, I don't know, man. This is a weird one.
Look. I think I mentioned it before. I know they're trying to do these offshoot characters, but it's like for this one, I don't care. I
Yeah,
don't. I don't care really. I wish I did. If I had another trailer and
yeah.
like I knew more of the character, I would be like I'd be interested. But this, I was like I don't care. It's just okay. That's what Sony's doing. All right, whatever. Just make money, I guess. I mean,
I
you
don't
know.
I don't even know if it will make money. I don't know if people are going to go to it. Do like common audiences know who Craven is? I don't
I
think
don't
they
think
do.
they do. I don't think they do. So it's kind of like, okay, you have this movie about this hunter.
Hmm.
What is he hunting? Like, because
I,
originally,
I
because I
I
think in the comics,
yeah,
he hunts Spider-Man or whatever.
sure.
But this is kind of like okay, like
Yeah, I mean, I think now he's hunting the people that hunt the animals, right? Like he hunts poachers and stuff,
yeah,
which I know was really like people were really mad about that for a second. Like people were very angry. I personally like. I think if you're adapting a Craven movie, you kind of have to do something like that. Um,
yeah,
I I I would say previously it would have been a I don't know, but I think since it's been like, pushed back to like an entire year, I don't really care right now.
yeah,
I'm good.
right.
Um, Next up we have Blade. Poor
Oh,
Blade. Blade is one of these movies, man. It just can't. It's bad. It's one of
just
those like flash type movies where bad luck after bad luck after bad luck. It's currently not even written, right? Like it was
I
like it was
know, and
written.
that
But they like started over from scratch, and then the strikes happened, and like this was announced like 3 years ago. It's kind of in that same space for Fantastic Four for me, where it's like I right now I don't really care because we don't know nothing about it.
I know, I know. I hate to say it. I hate to say it because, like I mentioned, I don't like horror movies.
Mhm.
But Blade, I would go freaking see. I would have been really excited for it. But I'm
Yeah.
just like now. I'm just like, you're killing me. I don't care right now. I just why are you doing this to me? So
Yeah. I don't want to put it. I don't know if I personally would put it in I don't care because I do care somewhat. Like I want it to come
yeah,
out.
I'm just
I
I'll put I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
I think I hope it can come out at some point.
yeah,
I think it's looking at like a 2026, 2027 date at this point, and that kind of sucks.
Marvel is gonna have to reshuffle around their slate that they had because
Yep,
the strikes and
again.
stuff.
Up next here we have Captain America: Brave New World, which is their new title for it as well, Captain America 4,
Yeah.
as other people call it. I loved Captain America movies. Those are like my
Yes.
side of the MCU. Like Captain America, Agents of Shield, Agent Carter. That's my favorite kind of side of the MCU. I
Okay.
am still unbelievably excited for this. Now I know there's been a lot of things come out that people are like, I don't know if you should have like Betty from the Hulk movie and stuff like that. But I am still incredibly excited for it. Are you excited for this
Yeah.
movie at all?
I am pretty excited for this movie. Um, like so okay, don't be mad. I did not watch all of Agents of Shield. I've only seen the first two episodes, oh, well, the first season. And I was like, okay, I'm done. Okay. um, I did see a little bit of Agent Carter. I
Mhm.
love the Captain America movies. I'm really looking forward to this because of the
Mhm.
fact, like, I haven't read the comics, but I'm looking forward to the fact that, like, I'm gonna go bring race into this for like a quick second,
Yeah,
just a
good.
quick second. Um, like for we had Black Panther, right?
Mhm.
Black Panther was its thing, and Captain America, because I know in the comics, I mean not Rhodey, Sam got the shield, and I
Yes.
know like for the TV show, people were kind of like, does he deserve it or whatever? But then like he did deserve it because he has served America, the country, this and the third,
Yeah.
you know. But I feel like this will be another way forward in like movies and as like a people in general. So we can be like,
Yeah.
because honestly, like we don't really have much representation in movies that much
Yeah.
anymore. So I am personally looking forward to it. As long as they don't kill him off, as long as they don't kill him off, or have um, Steve Rogers come up, de-age himself.
Oh
I am
god.
really looking. I'm just saying because
I I love Chris Evans so much, but in these Avengers movies, if he shows up, I'm going to be very mad. Like
yeah,
that would kill any sort of anything that Sam has going for him, and I would hate
yeah.
that for him.
Yeah, that's
Like
what I'm saying. Like I'm hoping. Yeah, I'm hoping they give Sam like his his um his time to shine really because
yeah,
in the Captain America movies he was kind of like the sidekick, the guy who's like on your left.
mhm,
But like with this, like he can really like dig like when he had his movie, Falcon the I mean not his movie, his show, Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
yeah,
you saw him kind of grow because he didn't want the shield. He was like, this shield means a lot to a lot of people, you know. when he had that conversation with the older gentleman, he was like, you know what? I will take this shield to show that I deserve the shield. So that's a very powerful statement to have, especially in the
Yeah.
world, the real world we live in today. So it's like I want to see how they kind of like have him navigate him being now Captain America, being the
Yeah.
face of the shield, you know. So I'm excited. I'm pretty excited.
I 100% agree. And I also I think Sam is just going to be the kind of the figurehead of the entire like MCU going forward. And I
Yeah.
think that's been something we've really been missing is that like this one singular character that can kind of lead the pack. Like previously we had
Yeah.
Iron Man, we had Captain America, we had like Black Widow and Thor. I feel like we don't have that one singular character that we can look to. I think he will lead the next team of Avengers. I think he's going to be that character. I think everything we've heard about this movie just seems very hyped. I'm very excited to see Harrison Ford as Ross. I'm very curious to see. And again, I love these grounded MCU stories, and I think like even like there's been rumors and stuff that it's like some kind of like Avengers type movie where all these other heroes also appear here, which I know a lot of people would not like that. I'm personally okay as long as there is a focus on Sam. Like this needs to be
Yeah.
Sam's movie 100%. Like even Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that was Sam and Bucky, right? Bucky still had so much screen time. Sam does need the spotlight here, 100%.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sorry. Give me just 1 second. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead. No, no,
Um.
you're fine.
Sorry.
I would say I need it. I'm very excited for this movie.
Yeah.
It's
I'm very
either
excited too.
yeah. I think it's up there for me. I'm very excited. Um, Next up we have the El Moreto. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. I think we can just say both don't care, right? I think we can both easily say
Yeah.
that. Yeah, don't care.
Yeah. I just it's one of those things where I'm just like meh. Okay. Well, it's a character.
Yeah, it could be okay, but right now I don't care. Next up, we have Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, which is the final installment in the Spider-Verse franchise. Um, I love those movies, both of the previous ones. I think they're incredible in everything they do. Love them so much. And for me, I need the third one. It's like out of all the movies on this list, this is the one I need the most, I think.
Yeah, same, same. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sorry, I have to take care of something. And
You're fine.
I'm looking forward to it a lot. Actually, it's going to be very interesting to see, and to oh my god, I can't get comfortable right now to see, and I'm having a good day. I'm having a good day. To see and to just be like, alrighty, cool.
Sure.
Just you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
no.
looking forward to it. Who's
Yeah,
that?
man, I just think with especially with how it ended and it being a part 2 to this ultimately being a part 3, I'm
Yeah,
just so excited and I hate like it was really supposed to come out next year. Now we got to wait probably a couple more years, but
and I
and
wish
it
that wasn't the case.
I know. It is what it is though. I think as long as it's honestly, if it like if it can contain the quality of the first two, it's probably my favorite like trilogy ever, like out of any movie. I think if they could stick the landing, man,
Yeah.
they're they're in good shape. All right, next up here, and I almost didn't include this one just because we really don't know much about it at all outside of it's happening, kind of like you're like Shang-Chi 2. But there has been
Yep.
a lot of talk about it in recent, and I did feel like I needed to put it on here. And that's Spider-Man 4, the fourth installment in the Tom Holland like Spider-Man franchise. The first person to ever get four Spider-Man movies, which is a
Right.
big accomplishment. Congratulations, Tom. How are we feeling after the third movie? I'm
Mm,
personally pretty excited. I loved Tom Spider-Man, especially how the last one ended. To me, it kind of felt like, well, he's finally like he's Spider-Man now. The Spider-Man everyone
yeah.
knows and love. He's here. He's here. So how are we feeling?
So honestly, I'm somewhat looking forward to it, only because we don't know exactly how they're going to play this out. Because at the end of Spider-Man.
No Way
Um,
Home.
Thank you. No, wait, No Way Home. Yeah, No Way Home. It's kind of like everybody forgot who he was, you know.
Hmm.
So I'm kind of curious to see where they go from that.
Sure.
Only for the simple fact of, it's he's nobody. He's basically just a nobody in a Spider-Man
Hmm.
suit doing whatever. So I mean, so like I said, I'm somewhat looking forward to it until we get more information about Spider-Man 4 and like how it's going to play into the grand scale of things. Then I'll be like, yeah, I'm excited. But for right now, I'm just like, I'm looking forward
That's
to it.
fair. That's fair. I can accept that for sure. I'm pretty excited, I would say. I mean, I just love Spider-Man movies. Like I don't like it's very rare for me to watch a Spider-Man movie and not love it, right? Like even the
Yeah,
bad ones, I think they're at least fun to watch. And I'm just so excited for a college trilogy for Tom and that world. Like
yeah,
I think college is such a fun time to view Spider-Man, and I think he's finally
yeah.
at a space that again he's Spider-Man now, and I'm so excited to see how he works. I'm hoping for something very different from the original trilogy. As much as I do love those movies, I do want to see him as a person in a very different place in his life.
Yeah.
So I think there's so many characters we could introduce. Like I would love like a Black Cat or something like that. You know, some of these villains that we've never seen before. I know there's rumors of like a Kingpin as the villain. I know that's been going around, and what is like Daredevil Born Again going to do leading up to this
Right.
movie? I'm just I think there's so much potential that can be had here. But you are right. There isn't much to really go on as far as what it um
Yeah.
just what it is.
It is what it is at this point. Uh,
Absolutely. All right, in our final four here, we have the Thunderbolts, um, which is supposed to come out next year, but we don't know if it still is coming out next year. Our team of like villain agents. Um, how I how do we feel about Thunderbolts?
I don't know. I really don't know because you have Bucky.
Hmm.
You have Bucky. Other than that, I'm just like I don't know. I really don't know. Like because I don't know much about these characters. I know they have a comic series. But other than that, I'm just like, okay, I'm interested because of Bucky, but other than that, I'm just like they're trying to do the um no comment section don't hate me. But I feel like they're trying to do like Task Force X. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying?
Suicide
Like
Squad.
the
Yeah, for sure.
Suicide Squad. Yeah. And it's just kind of like, why do we need this right now?
Mm.
Like, is there a purpose to this to what they're doing? So I'm just like,
Um,
okay,
I I think there will be for sure. Like I think I think like I could be wrong, but this does kind of seem like a sequel to Captain America 4 and with what it's doing with Ross with this like presidential storyline with what it's been building up with um I forget her name, but Val, right? Where she's going around
yeah.
and she's like collecting all these villains. I personally kind of like the roster of villains. Like, I wish there was a couple others. Like, I wish maybe Zemo was on there, and I wish like Abomination was on there.
I
But
mean,
like, God,
sorry, I was saying, oh, if there were like villains that I did know besides Bucky,
hmm
because I don't know, I think what Ghost is on there too, right?
yeah, we have Ghost. We have uh Agent Lib or no, the agent
Age,
from the
Agent Liberty or
Falcon
whatever.
show. Yeah, um, we have
It's just
Hugh
like I
Lena
don't.
from the Black Widow movie. We have seen them all at one point or another. So I don't
I
know.
just
I just I don't know. I do think it could have a stronger lineup for sure, but
yeah,
maybe they're hiding people. Maybe they
probably.
don't want to like reveal the whole roster yet. We'll see.
Okay, let's
Um,
just yeah. I put it in air. I don't care.
okay. I feel like I don't know. I'm somewhat more excited than everything in Ant currently. Would you
Okay.
be angry with what with somewhat?
No, I'm fine with somewhat. Somewhat
Okay,
would be
yeah.
pretty.
All right, fair enough. um, Alrighty, here we have Venom 3, which I cannot believe we have 3 Venom movies.
Look, I can't believe it either. Because the second one was kind of like, all right, we got you okay, you're here. Um, what did you think of the second one?
I mean, I think it's dumb fun. I actually
Yeah.
think I like the second one more than the first one. Um,
Okay.
but they're fine. I think they're fun. I enjoy them. They're nothing like amazing though.
Well,
I would say I
uh,
don't know. I think
yeah,
because I'm more
yeah, that's
excited for
right.
it than Craven and El Muerto, but
Yeah,
it's definitely it's definitely low because I care about everything
yeah,
else in that category more than Venom 3.
yeah,
Um, Already, and lastly, and we can kind of rank these together because we don't, they kind of go together in a way, and that's
yeah.
Avengers Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars, the two-parter Avengers movie. This is tough because when this was first announced, man, I was ready. I was like, I could
Yeah.
not believe that they announced like they announced it like it was supposed to be in the same year. Like that
Yeah.
is insane. Like 2025, we were supposed to get 2 of these movies.
And the
But I
DC
think
movie, I believe.
yeah, I mean Superman and like Airbender, like there's so much coming out. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now I think with a lot of the recent projects that had like come out, and everything with like Jonathan Majors and all of that controversy and it getting pushed back so many years, like now we're looking at like 2026 and 2027, maybe
Yeah.
2028. I think for me, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty darn
I would
excited.
say, yeah, I'd say pretty excited too.
Like it's
Also,
not on
simple
the
fact,
level as the top 3 for me, I don't think.
yeah. Well, wow, we did pretty good. We only have two I don't cares.
Yeah.
But
Which
everything
kind of
else
makes
is
sense
pretty,
why they're there as well. Yeah.
yeah.
Um
I can I agree with this list.
yeah, yeah. I think there's very little I would disagree with, but I think we're definitely in good shape.
Yep.
Um Alrighty. Thank you so much for being here, y'all. Thank you for everyone who stopped by. Um, Thank you again, KJ, for coming on here and chatting with us. This
You're
was a
welcome.
very fun
You're
stream.
welcome. Yep.
Absolutely. This is kind of where this is kind of the part of our show where I kind of ask my guests if there's anything that they're working on. Is there anything that you're um, anything that you want to like shout out or like promote?
So I have been slowly but surely putting my karaoke videos up. Because I was in choir. I'm planning on maybe dabbling in some form of maybe live stream or podcast. I just don't know how I'm going to get into that. But I will keep you updated, and hopefully you'll have me again because this has been fun. I enjoyed this debate per se and this conversation.
Absolutely,
So
man. We will have to have you back very soon. A lot of fun. I've always enjoyed talking with new people, and you were an absolutely amazing guest today. On my side of the things, nothing crazy new. We should be back next week. I think next week topic we're going to be looking back at the Dark Knight trilogy for its big 10-year. I think it's been 10 years since the first one came out,
oh
so we'll
shoot,
probably
it's been 10
be those
years.
movies.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure because I know I'll be working, so I can't go. But like this Saturday, they're like it's back in theaters and they're airing like all 3 in like theaters. And I was like,
Oh
oh,
wow.
that'd be a fun time to kind of revisit those films.
Gotcha.
But again, thank you so much for being here. This was a lot of fun. And yeah, I will see you on the flip side. Bye bye.